verbal on life.
What's going on? Yo, the riots in France are on another level. Like if you thought what we had here in America was bad, you haven't seen what they got in France. It's crazy what's going on out there. All right. In this episode, we're going to take a look at some footage of what's happening over there in the ground. And then we're going to give some detail what we think should happen or our thoughts on the whole situation. But welcome to Verbal Online. My name is Noel.
And I'm Jay Smith.
All right, so let's first take a look at a clip.
See what the hell's going on here. And in the meanwhile, guys, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Enjoy the content. We're giving you that good stuff.
All right, this is a clip from the conservative twins.
This is Frank.
That looks like a movie.
Oh my goodness.
That looks like the Terminator
Not,
movie.
not just like a movie, it looks like a war zone.
Look at that. Yo, the whole city's burning down.
You know, I don't think this is getting the type of coverage that this type of situation deserves.
And that's what I'm saying. Like here, like on this side of the world, they haven't talked about it enough on the news. Like this is on another level.
Yeah, I definitely believe that that this should be covered a lot more.
Yo, they really went all out in France. Like, remember when we had the riots here and for BLM, we had like the riot, and I thought it was bad because they burned down the whole precinct and everything. But what you just saw there, oh my God.
Man, you thought that was bad? Oh my goodness. I'm thinking to myself, a bunch of college kids coming out of a football game and tearing down their town. Like that's nuts. And that's regular stuff that you see all the time in the US. But
Do you know why that happened?
I guess a bunch of college kids think when
No,
they drink, it's fun to tear down stuff. I don't know.
I'm talking about the France riot.
Oh, well, honestly, I heard that, the cops killed somebody or something along those lines, and, the people not having it. I guess it was a young kid that they killed.
Good, yeah. So basically, look at this. The police rolled up on a kid that was driving a car. As you can see here, the cops are pointing a gun at him. Like, I've never had the cops point a gun at me. That must be scary as hell. Have you ever gone through that? Like the cops pointing a gun at you like that?
Yes,
And how
I
did you
have.
deal with it?
I mean, you put your hands up. If you know that you're not doing anything wrong, you're going to put your hands up, and of course, you're going to be scared.
And when you're that young, you don't make very good decisions because that boy decided to accelerate and drive away. And that escalated things where, again, the cops chased him and ended up shooting him. 17-year-old boy, that was a young man that really, really didn't deserve to die. And
You
look what
know,
happened.
Another gun-related death. That's what happens. It's like I always say, when you put a gun in the hands of someone, there's always that possibility that they're going to kill somebody when they should not have. There's always a possibility that they're going to pull that trigger when they should not have. This is a
Well,
perfect example of that.
these are police officers. And take a look at the reporting that CNN did. All right.
But imagine this. Imagine if police officers who are trained for God knows how many hours, and they still kill people that they should not kill. Imagine an average citizen with a gun that doesn't take all that training and all those psychological evaluations. They definitely gonna kill for no reason.
Well, sticking to this situation, the police officer made a terrible decision, and it's just showing. They're burning down the streets of France, and let's listen to why it happened. So, like that, we're not making things up. We're just going by the reporting.
Okay.
Well, in France, people are rallying for a third day over the fatal police shooting of a teenager. You are seeing his mother right there, leading a tribute march. A short while ago, the boy, identified by authorities only as Nahel M., is reported to be of North African descent. The shooting happened during a traffic stop on Tuesday in Nanterre, a working-class town on the outskirts of Paris. French officials say the officer who shot and killed the 17-year-old acted, quote, illegally. We're now learning that the officer has been put under formal investigation for voluntary homicide. Well, protesters have set fire to several cars in Nanterre. French President Emmanuel Macron calling the shooting unjustifiable while also condemning the unrest. Our Paris correspondent, Melissa Bell, has more.
That's insane. Look at the cars burning. Oh my God.
Listen, listen. This is something that we've seen all over the world, Noel, where if a police officer kills a young kid, especially one that is not perceived to be a criminal, and that people feel that he shouldn't have been killed, the people will turn on the police. And we've seen that all over the world, and we're seeing it in Paris.
Definitely a horrible situation because I don't know, man. For me, it's a tough call. If I get stopped by the police, there's nothing to talk about. Hands go up. That 17-year-old boy made the wrong decision of driving away and having the police chase him. And that's another thing. Why did the police chase him? Like, you got the main license plate. Just go get him after he leaves. You can't go anywhere.
Well, it doesn't work like that. In reality, they have to chase him because they don't know if he has drugs on him or anything illegal that he's going to dispose of. So they do have to chase him and see at that very moment what's going on. However, there has to be a judgment call. And they did not make the right call. Why? Because if this young kid is clearly not armed, clearly not dangerous, then you shouldn't even be pulling out a gun in the first place. This kid could have been tased. He could have been, hit with a stick or whatever it is that they carry with them. He could have been, maced. There should have been other options taking into account the circumstances. This is not a criminal who just robbed a bank and has a gun on him.
That's another problem, that he wasn't a threat, or he wasn't a credible threat. Like, they didn't find a gun on him, so he didn't pose a threat to the police officer for them to do that. And I think you just heard CNN say that the cop got put in administrative duty because of that. And just horrible. At the end of the day, look what happened. That burned the city down. All over, a kid died, which is horrible. My heart goes out to the family, and the city got burned down.
Part of the reason why I say that it's a horrible judgment call by the cop, the decision-making process was horrible, is because if you think about it, a 17-year-old, we know that this is a kid. We know that he makes bad decisions. We know that. And so him running doesn't mean you need to chase him and kill him. We're talking about a kid. So you should understand the difference between a 17-year-old kid. That cop handled this situation like he was chasing a 45-year-old convict who's been to jail and is on parole and committed a crime, and that's how he handled the situation.
You know what? I must agree with you on that one. And also, Jazz Ray Ware agrees. Just because you run doesn't mean you have to die.
And unfortunately, there are many places in the world where running does mean that you're gonna die. Like here in Dominican Republic, people being killed because they ran. It's not happening as often now. Now I actually saw somebody running that they chased him and he got away, and they didn't shoot him. But before they would, like if you ran, they would shoot you. And in other countries, they still shoot people who run. So, that's still the world that we live in.
At the end of the day, my opinion, or I think Jay's opinion also, is that life definitely is important and is credible. That's the worst thing you could lose, your life. So I wanted to point out this video, make people aware what's going on in France, because the news doesn't give it coverage. I didn't know that was happening. Do you know? I didn't know. So
hey, thank God for CNN. At least they covered it, gave us the information that we needed to pass it down to the peoples, and we could be verbal on life.
All right, shout out to CNN.
Verbal on life.
Don't forget to
Right.
subscribe, my people. Hit that button.